and the Beanstalk because it has a consonant blend at the end, LK. What does LK say? Oh, everyone say it.
It's kind of hard to say.
It is kind of hard to say. So in this story, there's a lot of cool words. And I have started something over here called a word harvest. If I harvest something, I'm picking them. Has any of you had a garden and you harvested the vegetables?
Yeah, but the birds and squirrels and stuff ate all of our veggies.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I mean, fruit.
So at harvest time, you pick them all and you bring them in your house, right?
And you eat them.
Julian, put your shirt on. Thank you. All right, let's start reading. And as I'm reading, if you see a really interesting word, raise your hand. Okay? Jack and the Beanstalk. Look at those beans. They look like jelly beans. Jack and the Beanstalk. Adapted by Mara Alperin, illustrated by Mark Chambers.
That is so I have a book that my mommy got instead of Jack and the Beanstalk, it's Hannah and the Beanstalk.
Oh, I'd love to hear that sometime.
Okay, I can bring
Yes, Everly.
I see a CK.
You see a CK. What does that say?
Jack. What? The word was Jack.
The word was Jack. Very good. Deep in the countryside lived a widow and her son, Jack.
What's a hole in my sock?
Yes, Keegan.
A word was widow. It was interesting.
The word widow was interesting? Oh, thank you.
What is
Widow. So I'm going to write that down. Widow. We'll talk about these words in a little bit.
I have a hole in my sock. What? I do.
Okay, you can ignore that. So, widow. Do you know what it means to be a widow?
No.
Do you know?
Someone who's sick.
No. It's actually someone who was married and then their husband or their wife died. So this is a widow. Her husband died, so she's by herself with her son Jack. All right, be good listeners. Their cottage was crumbling and their clothes were patched. They were very, very poor. One day, Jack's mother said, "We must sell our cow. Take her to the market, Jack, and bring home some gold pieces." And so he set off to town. Well, this is a very old story, and before we had paper money, we had gold. You can still get gold today. It's real gold in the shape of coins, and that's what they used to buy things. So because this is an old story, they used gold coins. But before Jack had gotten very far, he met a strange little man. "That's a fine cow," the man said. "I'll swap you 5 magic beans for her." "Magic beans?" said Jack. "Are they really magic?" "Magic they are. Or chop off my beard and knit it into a sweater," croaked the little man.
If they don't work, chop off his
"Beard and make a sweater."
You can't do that. That sounds fun. Yeah, because it is so big.
It is very long.
It looks like a jump.
Magic beans! Jack couldn't wait to tell his mother. He clutched them tightly and ran all the way home.
Okay.
Have you heard any more words that were interesting, or maybe you didn't understand what they were, Everly?
Clutch.
Clutched.
Wait, why does he have watches also?
Clutch.
I thought at first that was all in the story. I thought at first
Clutched. If I clutch something,
I grab it.
I am holding it tight. I am clutching the glue stick.
Once I had a whole
Okay, shh. We're not talking about holding your sock. So, oh, remember, we're being good listeners. He's clutching the beans so he doesn't drop them. And he ran all the way home.
What is clutching mean?
Jack's mother was furious.
Don't
"Money, not useless old beans," she cried, and she threw them out the window in
I was just saying.
disgust. You need to raise your hand and stop interrupting. She threw them out the window in disgust. Yes.
I would just say, "Mom, that one
right, Everly?
Disgust.
Disgust. What does disgust mean? Hannah?
It's so disgusting. Disgusting.
So if something's disgusting, another word would be gross. Do you think she's like, ooh, these are gross, and she threw them out the window? It actually means a little something different. She threw it out in disgust. Another good word would be anger. She's just so angry, she just can't believe he bought beans.
That face.
But late that night, a tiny bean sprout poked out from the ground. And then it grew and grew and grew. The next morning, the beanstalk stretched high into the sky. The beans were magic, Jack cried. But what's at the top? Jack climbed up the beanstalk. And at last, he reached the very top. There, shimmering in the sunlight, was
A castle.
a magnificent castle. So I'm wondering, do you know what shimmering means?
Wait, I know what it means.
Raise your hand if you know what shimmering is. Sienna, what does shimmering
It's
mean?
like when you're shiny.
Shiny. That's another good word.
I thought it was gonna be.
Shimmering.
I thought it was gonna be.
How about magnificent?
Ooh, that.
What does that mean?
Like great.
Great. These are some big words. Look how big that word is. All right, continuing on. Hey. The door creaked open. Oh, I forgot this. Just then, Jack's stomach rumbled. I must find some breakfast, he thought, and he tapped on the castle door. The door creaked open, and a huge giantess smiled down. Hello, Jack shouted up. Please, do you have any food? You poor thing, boomed the giantess. Come right in, but quickly before the giant gets up.
But
Why do you think she boomed, Savannah?
because you was gonna go.
Because she grew big or she is big?
She is big.
She is big. So the bigger you are, what happens to your voice? It gets louder. So because she's a giantess, what's the difference between a giant and a giantess?
I don't know. A giantess is a lady.
A lady. So we have a giant, which is a man, or a giantess, which is the girl. Hey, I'm hearing interrupting again.
So if we mean girl and we say giant, then we should have said giant.
Right, and she boomed, her voice boomed because she was so big.
Boom.
What a marvelous feast! There was an enormous loaf of bread and a gigantic jar of jelly. Jack dug in at once. What does enormous mean? Pavel?
Really big.
And how about gigantic?
I know.
Hannah?
And we said
Really big. Two special words
same
that mean the same thing.
big.
I'll add those to our list in a minute.
Big.
Oh, eyes up here. But suddenly the room began to shake. Boom! Boom! Boom!
Boom.
Oh my goodness! Cried the giant. He's coming! And she shoved Jack under a teacup to hide. Into the room stomped a big, scary, hungry giant. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman, he said. Be it alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Don't be silly. There's nobody here but us, the giantess scolded. Now go and wash before breakfast. What do you notice anything else? Any other interesting words?
Smells it.
Keegan? Killian? What'd you say? forgot. Oh, okay. Keegan?
Breakfast.
Breakfast? That's an interesting word.
Scold.
I think you know the word breakfast.
Scold.
Scold. What does that mean?
Like say something bad. It's your bone. That looks like a tail. I know what scold means.
If your mom says, "Why is this room still clean? You need to go clean your room or you're going to go stand in the corner."
Wait, still clean.
I'm scolding you.
What?
So scold does not mean you're doing something bad.
I meant say something. I thought you said scold.
You thought I said what?
Skirt.
I'm going to write gigantic.
And then we might have to, if there's more interesting words, you'll have to start in the other side.
And enormous. I'm having a hard time writing it. Stop goofing around. All right. I think we're getting close to the end here. Let's see what happens. Jack trembled. I must leave now, he thought. He was halfway down the hall when he heard squawk. It was a hen with bright golden feathers. Help! She clucked. Set me free and I'll lay you golden eggs every morning. Jack scooped up the hen, but then he heard huge footsteps thundering after them. Who do you think it is?
The giant.
There he is. B-5-O-5, roared the giant. I smell the blood of an Englishman. And there he is. Jack raced out of the door. He jumped and slid down the beanstalk. Down, all the way back to his cottage. Mother! Quick, bring the axe, he shouted. Why do you think he needs an axe?
I know.
Oh, raise your hand. What do you think, Henry?
To make him fall and die.
What's he going to do with the axe? Savannah?
So he's gonna cut it. He's gonna cut it so he can fall down and get dead.
All right, let's see. Oh, he's pretty close. Jack's mother swung the axe at the beanstalk. Whack! It shuddered and shook. And then the giant came tumbling down. Fee-fi-fo! Crash! And that was the end of the giant.
Some big feet.
Jack hugged his mother tight.
Some big.
Look what I found, he said. And he showed her the golden egg. Oh, Jack, said his mother, I'm so glad you're safe. And you were right about those magic beans.
3, 5, 4, 4, crash.
So Jack, his mother, and the golden hen all lived happily ever after. And with lots of golden eggs. And they were never poor again.
Yay!
Look at that, they have so many golden
That's a
eggs.
big house.
They're coming down the slide.
But they are
Henry, sit down.
They're rich.
Okay, before we go through our list, any more words that you noticed that were interesting we should add to our list? Real? One at a time. Giant. Well, I have giant and giantess. Shh, raise your hand quietly. Lauren. Beanstalk.
No, she said.
What
I
is-
know beanstalk means.
What is a beanstalk? Raise your hand if you know what a beanstalk is. Okay? What is it?
A beanstalk. What's a
What is it? How would you describe it, Emily?
What's a beanstalk?
Raise your hand.
A big like. It's a big like vine.
Big vine. Do beanstalks really grow this big?
No.
If you grew beans in your garden, you might get the stem is this stalk here. And it could grow pretty tall. It could grow as tall as me, maybe taller. But it would not be so thick that you would need an axe to cut it down, right? All right, any more words that you want on our list? Abby? Okay?
I know.
You know what? I'm not going to call on you if you're standing up and yelling.
I'm not.
Henry? Breakfast. You know what breakfast means.
That's
All right.
what Keegan said.
Let's go through our list. We have widow. Remember that's someone who was married, but her husband died. Clutched. Show me what clutched means. Pretend you're clutching the beans. Okay. The mother threw them out the window in disgust. Show me a face with disgust. Oh my. No, you're not screaming. Okay. You know what? You need to take a belly breath right now. Close your eyes and take a belly breath. A calm belly breath. Hobble, turn around. All right, open your eyes quietly. Gauge. Okay, shimmering. Tell me one thing that might be shimmering. Hannah. Sit up. Just throw it away. Oliver, what might you see that's shimmering? How about a lake? If the light's shining on the lake, shimmering, or a gem, a diamond, it might be shimmering, or gold. How about magnificent? What's another word for magnificent? You tell me.
Brilliant.
Okay, we're not going to make up words though. Brilliant, is that what you were trying to say? Brilliant? Okay. Brilliant or great? Giant or giantess? Scold. Show me how you would scold your neighbor. All right, freeze. Freeze. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on you.
Okay, what's another word for gigantic?
Really big.
Really big. How about another word for enormous?
You said Billy big.
Lauren.
Huge.
Huge. And beanstalk is part of a what?
Huge. Vine.
What?
Vine.
A vine of a what kind of plant?
Bean.
Bean plant. All right, very good. All right, let's spread out for a brain break.